This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you're talking about at BYU-Idaho. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Today's hosts are
Cody Miller,
Maiya, Waddell,
Breanna, Latouche,
and I'm Savannah McCauley. Today we're talking about family traditions, whether it be traditions around Christmas or Thanksgiving, or even on birthdays. We're talking about all kinds of family traditions. And of course, we want to talk a little bit about our spot takes in family traditions, and I'll get started with that. So my spot take is that you can start family traditions anytime. You could change family traditions anytime. And I know a lot of people are like, well, tradition is a tradition. You can't change a tradition. But that's not necessarily the case, you know? Maybe people used to get specifically Disney ornaments every year, but now we decide to get only Nightmare Before Christmas ornaments. You know what I mean? So it's just a difference of opinion there. But also, family traditions can be started anytime. My husband and I decided to start doing advent calendars every year for Christmas, and that was something we just decided to start as a tradition for ourselves and for our family, our future kids. So I think it's just one of those things that people need to be aware that it's okay to start your own traditions. You don't have to always use grandma's traditions, you know? What about you guys?
For me, for my spot take, when we do like Christmas traditions, my mom makes a bunch of candy to like hand out to people, and then it never gets handed out. And so then we just end up eating it all. And so, although I like the candy, I feel like there's no point in making it if we're not actually gonna give it to people. So,
yeah. That's a good spot take. What about you, Cody?
honestly, I have this stupid idea for a tradition. My stupid idea is basically the lines of chicken is officially banned during Thanksgiving because it's Thanksgiving, you have ham, you have turkey, you have mashed potatoes. You shouldn't really even be eating chicken because it seems like a disgrace to not honor the turkey and the sacrifice it's given for basically our Thanksgiving feasts.
So I have some sort of response to that. What if it's only a husband and wife? They're by themselves.
Fair point. You could get a smaller ham though, and it has been done before. Heck, even pork can even do it actually. I'm just saying, even beef, even though beef is more like, for my family, it's a Sunday thing with a Sunday roast and stuff. So you can do that for a couple, but just chicken. Come on, it's Thanksgiving. You should splurge just a little bit more.
No, that's fair. I like that point.
And this is a guy who likes chicken, okay?
Maiya, what do you have for your spot take?
I just put on here that I love traditions. They're the best part of the holidays. I just love learning about what people do for their holidays. So yeah, they're fun.
I love that. Mm-hmm. And then do you have any like Thanksgiving traditions or Thanksgiving recipes you do every year? Because we did talk about this a little bit last week, but you weren't here last week. So I'd love to know what your family does.
We like to go to my aunt and uncle's house, and then we like to just have Thanksgiving there.
Do they make like special recipes?
No.
No? Just
No.
something different every year?
Yeah, we pretty much just do, like, we're trying to do chicken instead of turkey because it's like super dry. So yeah,
so
it's
completely
fun.
Opposite of what Cody wants to do, right?
Yes, exactly. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool. Cody, do you have Thanksgiving recipes you guys do every year?
We have recipes and traditions that we usually do every year. Like recently, in the last 5 or 6 years, we've actually been doing this recipe called orange mashed potatoes, which is basically just mashed potatoes and cooked butternut squash. You mix it together in such a way that it turns the mashed potato into a very light orange, and it's a very delicious taste. Also, sweet potato puff. That has been my family's tradition ever since I can remember, even before I even started to somewhat like it. And then you can never go wrong with a good old classic pumpkin bread, because that's literally one of the best things ever. And then we have a very special tradition that we haven't been doing for a while. We call it pie night. basically the idea is you're so stuffed from all the turkey, the stuffing, the cranberry sauce and everything that you just don't have room for pie. And so we're just like, why not eat the pie beforehand the night before? And we gather a whole bunch of friends. We each go out and invite our friends' families, take them to our house. We play games, we watch movies, and then we bring out the pie. Like everybody brings a pie of different kinds. And we just all socialize and we have a fun time with that. We have not been able to do that since 2019 because we've been so busy and we've been doing other things. So I really hope that we get to do the chance for that again someday soon. And my favorite pie for pie night, if you know the Old Frontiers location, jumbo berry pie or a triple berry pie, that is my favorite pie in the world.
See, that's a really cool tradition, Cody. Like, it's like you guys have your own Thanksgiving Eve kind of thing. That sounds really awesome. I think more people should do that because honestly, you're right. A lot of times you're full from all the other Thanksgiving food and you never have time to get back to that pie. Or if you do get a pie piece, it's usually like a small one because your stomach just doesn't have enough room anymore. So I like that idea. I might actually suggest that to my husband. I think that'd be fun. What about you, Breanna? Do you guys have any Thanksgiving traditions you do?
We used to meet with my grandma or like she'd come over to our house or we'd go over to my aunt's house who lived in Wyoming and we'd make stuffing. That was like the one thing I remember the most is one of my sisters would like peel apart the bread pieces and then they'd help make the stuffing. And that was always kind of like a tradition. We kind of lost that when we moved, but it was really fun to be a part of.
Oh my goodness, I love that. I like hearing what everybody does because it's so different. Everybody has a different Thanksgiving and also a different Christmas. So I want to mention Christmas traditions too. We'll start with you again, Maiya. Do you guys have any specific Christmas traditions?
So we do the Elf on the Shelf, which is so much fun. If y'all don't know what it is, it's basically where you have this like little stuffed animal elf and you can like hide it in your house. And it's so fun because we used to love that as kids. And the whole story is that he goes to Santa every night and reports to Santa if you've been good or bad. And then, of course, during Christmas, he flies away. So it's kind of fun.
That's so fun. I've heard of other people having Elf on the Shelf, but I've never done it myself. It looks really fun, though.
Yeah, it's so much fun. We loved it.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah.
Does anybody else get real Christmas trees? I love getting real Christmas trees.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
My dad, for years, has tried to get away from it because he's the one that normally cleans it up. But the rest of my sisters and my brother are like, no, we need a real one. Even though there's like no kids in the house anymore, whenever we come for Christmas, we're like, is it real?
Is it real?
And my dad's like, yes, it is. But we do have a fake tree just in case.
What about you, Cody? Do you guys do a fake tree or a real tree?
We've always used fake trees more or less, but then again, one of our trees actually lasted for nearly 2 decades actually, and so we got our money's worth out of that one. But we've always decorated the tree always in November, never really in December, because we always wanted to get it up beforehand. And as always, we always go out of our way to find new and different ornaments each year to celebrate the years that we've been living. Like in 2018, my mom went with her sisters on a vacation to St. John and the Virgin Islands. And basically she had an ornament that had sand from the beach there actually inside of it. That's cool. And that she would put it up. In 2020, the infamous year, basically we had all of us got our own ornaments that we survived the great toilet paper purge of 2020. And we would hang that up and it was just a little piece of toilet paper drawing on it that was basically like saying, hello. And for the most part, that's what it was. And then we just remember some of my most favorite ornament that I put on there is a monogolfer balloon, which is the first ever hot air balloon ever made. Mm-hmm. And another one is there's raw bell actually, which was a shepherd's bell that was used in ancient Israel at the time of Christ's birth.
That's really cool. Wow.
And when you hear it, it's not a harsh ring, it's a soft ring, for the sheep. And it's supposed to remind us of how all of us are sheep, and we remember who the great shepherd is.
I love that. That's a great tradition to have new ornaments every year that represent specific things.
More or less. We don't get them every so often, but it definitely does help, especially if some of them do break, and then some of them last, like, literally are older than even me.
It's really cool. For my family, so we were talking about trees earlier. My family, growing up, we went to a specific tree farm in Indiana, central Indiana. It's called Dole's Christmas Tree Farm. If anybody's from around there, you know, it's the best place. It is the place to go for a real Christmas tree. And we go there, and they have hot chocolate, they have homemade candy, they have like all the stuff. And then they have the homemade wreaths from the trees that they cut down earlier, and they make all these beautiful wreaths. And then you can go, you get your own saw, your whole family goes out into the big field of trees, and you find the one you want and cut it down yourselves, and bring it up and pay for it. And it is so cool. They've got like different sections of like the Douglas birches and like all the different big fir trees, and like the ones that have the tiny prickles, and they are the cutest things ever. So we love going there, but unfortunately I haven't lived in Indiana in a few years now, so haven't been able to go back to Dole's Tree Farm. But my husband and I, we have a fake tree, but I think once we actually finish school and we're like living in a more permanent home, in a more permanent space, we'll probably get real trees when the time comes. So it is super fun. Did you have another tradition, Cody?
Well, I think this is a tradition I feel like we should be more doing, actually. Well, one of my favorite traditions that I should really get back into it, and all of us as members of the church should, is the Light the World campaign. Because whenever you do that and become a member of the Light the World campaign, you are bringing people closer to Christ. And as always, when you're bringing people closer to Christ, you remember who he is, what he has done for all of us, what he's done for you, and we can remember all the teachings that he has taught. And another Christmas tradition is that my mom and dad have this thing called the Christmas book that we bring out with our Christmas decorations every year. And that for the most part, you untie it and you read a single day for the entire month of December, excluding all the days after Christmas, about passages in the scriptures and a song we sing every single December. And I remember that's been the way for years. And it was one of my favorite things actually to do. As a little kid, I got annoyed by it, but now I really do appreciate that book. And now I just simply repost my retelling of the story of Luke chapter 2, and later on, if you guys are lucky, I hope to be on this show that I get to share a poem with you guys that I've written for the Christmas season. I've even memorized.
Absolutely, and we do have a future episode where you can share that, and you'll be able to, anybody who's listening will be able to hear Cody's original poem, and it is beautiful. So stay tuned for that in a couple weeks. But Maiya, do you guys have any Christmas traditions you guys do?
So I have a little bit of a comedic one. Every year my mom puts out her glass Santas, but mysteriously they always end up breaking. And so my mom was always like, do not break my Santas this year. But they end up getting broken every year. So,
She has to get new ones every year.
Yeah, so she goes and she like fixes it and she's like, don't break my Santas, and they break.
That's so sad. That's a sad tradition.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Why?
So that's what I said.
It probably just happens by accident, I
Yeah.
assume. But it's just, that's sad that they break.
They
I
break
love
every
the
year.
little Santas that they have in stores.
yeah.
They're so cute. What about you, Breanna? Do you guys have fun ones?
Yeah, for Christmas we have quite a few, and even after Christmas ones. There's on Christmas Eve we get to open new pajamas, and my mom does this thing where there's always something about like the wrapping that's the same, and we have to like figure it out like which one is the pajama wrapping. And so and then we eat chili and rolls and watch A Christmas Story, which is my dad's favorite Christmas movie. And then my sister and I when we were younger. We still kind of do it now, but on Christmas Eve night, we will get up around like 2 or 3 and then look at all of our stockings and look at the presents under the tree. We thought we were so sneaky. And then one more tradition that we did, that my family does, we don't do it every year, but we call it the Christ stocking. It's like this little stocking that it's like burlap, and we put in goals that we want to accomplish during the year, and we just put it in that stocking, and then the next year we look at it and see if we actually did better or if we actually met our goals. And so it's a cute little tradition that not all of my family likes, but I liked it when I was younger. So
It's almost like doing your New Year's resolution early. That's kind of cool, actually. I like that.
yeah.
That's a really interesting one. I like hearing all the different ones. There's so many different traditions. And there's one I need to mention. It's an honorable mention for the Thanksgiving one, and I totally spaced it. But a lot of people are going to be surprised when I say it, so I need to say it. So I grew up in the Midwest, and we have noodles on Thanksgiving. And people are like, what kind of noodles? What do you mean noodles? Like mac and cheese? Like everyone has mac and cheese. No. These are particular noodles specifically for Thanksgiving. And a lot of people will make them at home, homemade. And basically they're like these flour noodles. They're just kind of like soft homemade noodles. And a lot of times people will get like a frozen bag of them too. But they're so good. And then you put turkey gravy on top of them. And it's the greatest thing ever, and it's so good. I love it. And I don't know why, but outside of the Midwest, I haven't heard of anybody ever making noodles. Even outside of Indiana, sometimes people are like, I don't think I've ever heard of that. So try it. I promise. If you make some like homemade like flour noodles, and I know all noodles are flour, but just some homemade noodles like that, and then add the turkey gravy on top, it is absolutely amazing. So that's kind of a tradition my family has, but we don't make them as often now because we all live in different states, and so it's really hard to have them, but it's amazing. So yeah, look it up. Turkey noodles for Thanksgiving in the Midwest. People probably have some really fun recipes for that. So absolutely. So we actually are talking about our traditions, but actually Breanna got to talk to several students here on campus about their favorite traditions. So I want to hear a little bit about those. Let's go to those clips.
For Christmas, we did like yummy breakfast. Like we had cinnamon rolls in the morning, or we had a park next to my house that was like 2 minutes away. It's really close. So we would go and spend time outdoors. We would like do some soccer or baseball, like anything outdoors as a family we would do. And then my mom has stockings that she sewed, ever since I was born. So she's probably had them for 24 years and plus. And they have all the kids' names on them, and so she has those still today, and she fills them up on Christmas Eve, and then we can open them on Christmas. And then what are some new family traditions you started as you got older and started your family or moved away from home? Since Tyler and I don't have any kids yet, we don't really have anything, but we just mainly spend time together, or we see family if we have the chance to. What is your least favorite tradition? I don't really have a least favorite tradition. I like all of them. Then the last question is, what is the weirdest tradition that your family has? I don't know if this is considered weird, but we take turns opening the presents one by one. So like my sister would go first and we all would wait, and then down the line. And then whenever we get clothes or anything, we have to try it on so everybody can see how it looks.
Some family traditions that I loved as a kid include making pizza together as a family. And as a kid, I always looked forward to Friday nights because that was when the weekend started and we'd make homemade pizza together as a family and watch a movie. And that was always a lot of fun. Something that I really love doing with my family as well is every Christmas, the night before, something we love to do is we love to sing Christmas songs around the Christmas tree with candles, and we act out the nativity. And it's a really special moment for my family.
I love that. What are some new family traditions that you started as you've gotten older?
That's a tough question. New ones as we've gotten older. I guess you could say, well, since my family moved across the country, all of our family is up here in Idaho and we're in Texas. And so you could say a tradition is making a trip out to Idaho every other year to go visit family. Also, something that my parents started doing when I was on my mission is that on Easter they do like a Passover meal just to kind of replicate that and have some meaning there.
I love that. I feel like I've heard more people do that too. So,
Yeah.
And then this will just be the last one. What is your least favorite tradition?
Oh shoot, my least favorite? I don't think I really have a least favorite tradition. I don't think I have a least favorite tradition. Sorry.
Awesome.
I think decorating the Christmas tree was definitely a big one, and sibling gifts. Every year we would do, my parents would assign a sibling that we would give a gift to, and it was like almost like Secret Santa kind of. So it was really fun. I really liked that.
That's awesome. We do the same thing in my family. Yeah. And what are some new family traditions that you started in your family?
Yeah, so I think one that I started, my dad has this recipe of making homemade sugar cookies. And so I decided that I want to make those every year on the night that we're going to decorate the tree and decorate for Christmas. So, yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet. Okay, and then one more.
Okay.
What is your least favorite tradition or the weirdest tradition that your family does?
Singing Christmas carols. That is the worst. I hate going out to people's homes and knocking on their door and then they can hear my terrible voice. I just feel like I'm intruding on people's evening. So that I think is the worst. And weirdest? I mean, I think it's cool, but my family, growing up, they would get us like these cool flavored cereals.
Oh.
So it was actually kind of fun because then we got to eat like this weird tasting flavor. So yeah.
Thank you for that. That was very funny.
So coming back from those interviews, Breanna, what are some things that like kind of stood out to you from those interviews?
So a lot of them were from friends, and one of them, her name's Gracie. So she actually, with her family, will go to this road in Houston, Texas, that's named after an actor in a movie where they have like a bunch of lights and the guy goes like all out, and it's just like this whole lane is just Christmas lights. And so I thought that was pretty cool to like make that a family tradition and to go and see all of that.
That's so cool. I love a couple of the other ones that were mentioned. There was like sugar cookie decorating on like the decorating night where you could decorate your Christmas tree. Also making sugar cookies and decorating them with your family. I think that's so cute. Yeah. I love that idea. And then another one mentioned her mom made them PJs. Like, what? Like, that's got to take all year if she has 7 kids, you said, right?
Yeah. Lexi, she has 7 siblings, and her mom sometimes will make pajamas, and I was like, that's really amazing.
That's crazy. I can't imagine making that's like 9 sets of pajamas? 10 sets of pajamas? Oh my goodness, I can't imagine making that many sets of pajamas. That mom is dedicated to their traditions for sure.
Lady must be Molly Weasley. She must be Molly Weasley.
I would agree with that one. So we want to kind of wrap up this episode of The Spot by talking about what we're thankful for, because this will be released on Thanksgiving, and we want to remind everybody, but that's what this really is about. As much as we love the food, we also should talk about what we're thankful for before we get into the Christmas season, you know? So it's a good start to get to that Christmas season, but of course it's about Thanksgiving. So we'll start with Cody. What are you thankful for, Cody?
I am probably the most cliche answers of me being thankful for, and I'm going to just simply say it. I will not be ashamed of saying this. I am thankful for Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. I'm thankful for an eternal family for which I am a part of. I'm also thankful for being here on earth to celebrate with a mortal family. I'm thankful to be here at BYU-Idaho to learn things, to embrace the gospel more fully in my life. I'm also thankful for the gospel so that not just me, but everybody else can reconnect with Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. And I know this is going to sound really, really weird and really, really nasty, but I'm thankful for misery and the trials we have suffered in the years past, especially for COVID-19, because it helped us redirect where our priorities should be and what is most important in our everyday lives, because sometimes it takes a little hard things in our lives to realize what should we be going for.
Thank you, Cody. Maiya, what about you? What are you thankful?
Yeah, pretty much everything Cody said I agree with, especially like our heavenly side. I would also say I'm grateful for like the opportunities I've been given. I'm studying video production, so it's really cool to be able to meet people that are involved in it. And so I'm just so grateful for all of that.
I agree with that. I'm a video production student as well, and I absolutely love it. It's something I'm very thankful for too. Thank you. Yeah. What about you, Breanna?
I'm thankful for my family and their unconditional love, and this may sound a little weird, but places where you can find peace. Like here at school, there are quiet places where you can just be with God and also just trying to take time to take care of yourself. And I'm really grateful for that.
Absolutely. And I will have to say, I'll wrap up the thankful part of this podcast by saying I'm thankful for a lot of the things you guys are also thankful for. But I also want to mention my family and my husband, because both of them, I don't know how I would live without my husband and my family. They're wonderful and very, very kind and generous people, and they make a huge difference in my life. And I want to include also my in-laws, because I got very lucky with my in-laws. They're wonderful people as well, and just very kind, and they're going to be welcoming me and my husband into their home this Christmas as well, and it's going to be really great to see them, and they're just really kind and sweet people. I got lucky with my in-laws, and so I want to be thankful for that as well, and of course the gospel. Absolutely. I'm not going to forget saying that, because the gospel and Heavenly Father are top priorities in my life. So we're going to go right into our quiz, and that'll be wrapping up our episode today. So we only have 2 questions. Don't look at the answers, because I have them highlighted, and these 2 ladies are right next to me. All right, so what percentage of Americans try to recreate their childhood holiday traditions? Is it 84%, 21%, 52%, or 33%?
I say C.
Yeah, C.
I'm going to go with A.
All right, it is 52%, which
Yo,
is C.
C.
I had a feeling, and then I was like, it'll be different.
All right, and the last question is, what percentage of Americans carry on family traditions from their grandparents? Is it A, 32%, B, 49%, C, 12%, or D, 27%?
I think it's A this time.
I'm going to go with D.
I'm going to go with C.
All right, it is A. Cody is the winner here. So 32% of Americans carry on traditions from their grandparents as well. All right, we'll wrap this thing up. You've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were
Cody Miller.
Maiya Waddell.
Breanna Latouche.
And I'm Savannah McCauley. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university, and are solely the opinions of the hosts. This episode was edited by Bia Matos. Producers were the hosts, with supervision by Brandon Isle and Natalia Hepworth. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads, and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. To listen to more episodes of The Spot, like and follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or visit our website, byui.edu/radio, and click podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to The Spot wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review of the show and leave a comment on what we should talk about next.